What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Squash. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Magic. It's currently 1-0 in this best of 7 series, hosted by LNC Trust. If you do not know, I believe he streams. I do believe he streams, and I've seen his streams. He plays quite nicely himself. So if you don't, if you feel like it, feel free to jump over to his stream, give him a follow, show him some love. He is the philanthropist of Age Mythology, the one, not the hero we deserve, the hero we need, not the hero we need, the hero we deserve. What's the saying? I don't know how it goes. Anyways, we have him, and he is, honestly, we love him because he always puts on these show matches, and they're always such high quality. Blue Lagoon is the map. This is game number 2. Magic has that first win, clutching out that first game with his Ra against Squash's Thor here, and sticking with the Ra into game number 2 as Squash is changing into Poseidon. I've actually been seeing Squash playing quite a bit of Poseidon recently, and if you've been watching any of the Matrius games, you actually played against Joe very recently tonight. If you didn't watch that game, it is on Matrius' stream. So again, go check out these players. They are awesome. A very, very strong Poseidon versus Ra game on Frozen Wastes, which ended in a very dramatic finish. But it does show that Poseidon is very, very strong against the Egyptians. Like I was talking about, where Norse definitely a decent god choice against the Egyptians. It just depends on what sort of map you get. That Alphi map, a little bit low on the hunt. I don't think that was the reason why Squash fell in the end there, but definitely would function better on those higher hunt maps. Now, Poseidon, on the other hand, kind of works well on any map because of the lure. Can get that hunt to his home base. He doesn't have to worry too much about running all across the map to get his hunt and all that other stuff in the early game, so he can get going a bit faster, do a bit much more stuff. And yes, it's good. It's good. Alrighty. So we'll see what Squash is going to do here. I expect him to go for a 430 here, or maybe a 440 something. I can never remember what's the speed on this. 9 seconds. A 439 could be an option here for him, getting out the Theseus straight away in order to send that forward to try and harass the town center that's going up. Some options for Magic on this map are Bast, high hunt maps for Ra. Bast is a good option against Poseidon. You can go for one town center, Spear, Sphinx, and just get all of the map pressure, all of the map control, because Poseidon can't deal with the Sphinx in the classical age. They actually have to get to the heroic age to get Atlanta out, and by that stage your economy's kicked into gear. You can reign and use that extra food to jump to the heroic age and jump to the mythic age as a one town center, semi-fast heroic. Tornado Eclipse all in, that was popularized by Petey Pablo back in the day. History lesson for you all. Petey Pablo did that very, very strong against Poseidon, but I haven't seen it done for whatever reason. Obviously, people much better nowadays at defending against those crazy all-ins, but it definitely functions, especially on a map like this. Forward gold, forward food, getting that map control works quite nice. So we'll see what Magic goes for. It's looking like he's going for Ptah. He's already getting the 2 wood villages onto wood. 2 things he could be doing with these wood villages if he's not going for Ptah. He could be just gathering his 120 wood, 50 wood, and 100 wood. So husbandry, plow, pickaxe, and then take those villages off wood and chuck them over onto food or gold is an option. But generally speaking, if you're getting wood this early in this build without getting the second monument, you're going for Ptah here, and it's going to be all fine and dandy. So here's the Hermes. Actually, a little bit late here from Squash. I'm a bit surprised to see not a 430, but it is looking like he's going for a second town center. He's got 7 villages on wood. He's got 5 villages on gold. This does indicate a fast second town center with Hippolyta and Theseus. You don't need to throw down the early stables against Ra. They don't have a lot of options unless they go Bast. And this town center is going to be going up. There's the Hermes. There's the instant Hippolyta here. And the villagers should get pulled off this gold mine when he can. And there's the town center going up. Very, very aggressive town center from Squash. I'm surprised to see this, to be honest, because this gives Magic an avenue to attack. This is giving Magic a 2-town center like siege push with Locust. So, or you could go with Sekhmet here and push through this town center. We'll see if that's what he wants to go for. The Catastrophe is coming here, going to hit the settlement. What you want to do with this Catastrophe is to slow this town center down. Is hit the Pharaoh. That's going to prevent the empowering. It's going to slow down the town center much more than if you hit the settlement there. But he does not go for it. And now archery range for Squash as well. This is all new for me. I haven't seen any Poseidon players doing this before. Against Egyptian, you want to be, generally speaking, when you see people who see Poseidon players making cavalry. But here going archery range first, and we do see the Hippolyta coming in. It's going to be preventing this large gold mine. Magic should be fine to not mine from here. Just throwing up farms on this spot, and then put the box. He does actually have a box here. Throw up another house, and then you can shifting sands the Hippolyta here if he wants. Completely fine, and then you can grab this gold mine. But like I said, you don't have to grab it. Just put the farms up around this town center, just on the back, not on the front, so the Hippolyta doesn't get any value, and you can be totally fine. We do see the Hippolyta is going to find another avenue for attack here onto these villages, and Magic should just retreat away. That picks off one villager there. That is huge. These towers not doing Magic very nicely at all. There's the Magic box there. A little bit confused about the extra box when he already has one. And we do see the villagers pulled off of wood here as well over onto that gold mine. Farms are now coming up for Magic. He's got plow, he's got Shadoof, he's got husbandry, he's got everything he needs here. And there's probably a couple of spots here where this Hippolyta can hit the farms, because I think this is more than 2 range. Obviously, Town Center has 20 range. So you can just slot that Hippolyta outside of the range on Alt S, and you can kind of hit the villagers a little bit there. But we'll see. We will see more farms coming up. There's the armory. Again, Magic puts this armory up so very, very late. Whenever I play, I throw up this armory as soon as I possibly can when I hit the classical age, because there's one villager, it takes, 91 seconds? Yeah, a minute and a half to go up. So very slow without that. Very slow for the Egyptian players if you don't throw it up. It is free, but it is slow. Now, archery range is stable here. This is the gold mine which Magic is going to want to be getting here. And there we go, hitting another villager. Shifting sands though. Oh, and he gets the Hippolyta into here. All of the Toxotes as well. Villagers getting pulled off of this location here. Priest coming over here, going to be sniping the Centaur. And it does look like the Centaur will fall. Those Toxotes going to be falling as well. However, maybe able to pick off a villager. Almost gets one. He does get one villager there as well. So while this is a big win here for Magic, he's still getting Squash is still getting some value here out of these units. And now all of those units will fall. Just imagine if you put this house here or a granary here and he shifting sands into this location. Would have been a little bit better. But he didn't do it. He's now reigning. How many farms he's got? He's got 17 farms. That is huge economy for Magic. Absolutely insane. And it's a very, very late heroic age here. So there's 2 ways you can play Ra. There's a very defensive way, which is what Magic is doing. Huge amount of farm range, huge amount of range to farm with. And there's the fast teching Ra, which is a little bit more aggressive. You can do a little bit more damage to your opponent, but you have less farms. It's more like a 12 farm kind of strategy there. But if you get this town center up late like Magic has, doing the extra farms definitely better. And we are going to be seeing a 10-minute heroic age here for Magic through Hathor. The Wadget picking off another unit there. Magic getting so much value with his units here. His free stuff with his shifting sands and with his free towers and with his free Wadget. Doing very, very nicely so far. So Squash actually opting to get an early 3rd town center. It's a little bit interesting because grabbing this forward town center for Squash indicates to me that Squash wants to play aggressive here. But then going ahead and grabbing this 3rd town center is changing things up quite a bit, because it means that Squash is now playing for the late game. Obviously, he feels like he's not going to be able to get a gold star, so he has to kind of choose to adapt here. Hippolyta now coming in. This Wadget will get picked off here. I think that's as the Hippolyta turns and faces him, tries to hit that one back there, and the Wadget going to be able to get away from this. I think, no, looks like Hippolyta gets one more shot and does snipe that Wadget there. Nice play. Pharaoh gets sniped as well. Really big play there from Squash. Rock pops out now for Magic. And killing that Pharaoh off is actually kind of a big deal because, well, he doesn't really have any speedy Migdol to go up. The Catastropus will be spotting the Migdol Stronghold coming up. Theseus over here already, and all of this army coming in will be able to cause some huge problems for Magic. This is a very, very greedy Migdol Stronghold. Locust Swarm coming down onto this location. A Wadget here for Magic is going to be able to pick off all of these villages. Really nice Locust there. However, this is the problem coming in here for Magic. He does have the Migdol Stronghold, will be coming up, going to be losing a lot of villages, more units, streaming in for Squash though, but he's really low on Hippocon. Villagers jumping into this location. Does he have? He does have Skin of the Rhino. So he's going to be trying to fight this back here, but he's going to lose so many villages. These Toxotes do so much damage. And this is absolutely gigantic here for Squash. And these villagers are going to be making a break for it here as he needs to be pumping units into his Migdol Stronghold. And I think the priest died as well, so he's not even going to be able to repair it. But with all these Toxotes here, this is a big issue. He's not going to be able to take this Migdol Stronghold down fast at all here. So we'll see what he can do. He's popping the units in and out of this Migdol Stronghold, trying to hold on to it. One thing he can do is move forward and try and grab this large gold mine here in the meantime in order to keep pumping units. He does have a market up. No market here. And Magic very low on the gold situation. And I think Magic is going to get punished for this this attempted gold mine grab here. And as this Migdol Stronghold will be falling. There's the market coming up for Magic. You can sell that food there in order to get this one. And honestly, this was a very, very unnecessary risk here for Magic. And Magic losing all of these units as well as he's not microing. He's trying to get the raids on with the Wadget. And this just gets 3 town centers for Squash though. So the raids aren't going to do anything really. And he is moving forward. We see the Migdol Stronghold coming up. All of the military buildings already here for Squash. And I can go into it just a little bit. So the reason why this is an unnecessary risk for this Migdol Stronghold is you have so much extra economy in the rain and the wood gathering is just faster than everything, right? If we check the wood gather rates, you get 0.98 for wood versus 0.82 versus 0.57, right? So one thing you can do with Ra when you just hit the heroic age is you can build the Migdol Stronghold in your base. You put all those villages that were on gold over onto wood, and you sell wood for gold, and you continue building units until you have enough, and then you can just move out and build that Migdol Stronghold, no problems. There's really no way for the Poseidon player to beat your army, the Migdol Stronghold, while the Migdol Stronghold goes up, and then the Ra can just defend that position very, very easily. But Magic does not go for that, and now Squash is in with a really, really good chance here to take this game. He's got 4 town centers. He's basically got 4 town centers to 2 town center advantage here as well, though he is stuck in the Classical Age and will be stuck for a little bit. So I do not expect him to get that 4th town center anytime soon. I would probably expect him to just go straight to the Mythic Age here, try and get an early Hephaestus, and try not to fight if he can, because these Toxotes do not do well against the Magic units here. Magic makes a random mercenary cavalry here. Such a strong unit. You're going to see if the Toxotes decide to fire against. Look at this armor already, 44% pierce armor compared to 15% of the human units. It's absolutely bonkers high. And we do see, look at him trying to take down the mercenary cavalry. Every single time a mercenary cavalry dies, he has done his job, or not by lifespan. He's done his job. He's paid for himself in the stuff. Anyways, Hippocon pushing out, doing their stuff. As we see the Hippocon, this is a bit of a ballsy raid. I don't know if I like it. I'm pretty sure Migdol Stronghold has Crenellation, so the Hippocon are getting hit as soon as they start walking in. Yes, Crenellation doesn't give a bonus to the Migdol Strongholds in terms of track rating. Sorry, in terms of bonus damage on the Hippocon, but with the extra bonus track rating, more of the arrows, I could be wrong about this. Take this with a grain of salt. Chow will probably flame me, but with the extra track rating, I think more arrows hit the Hippocon, so it does do extra damage against them. But at the very least, the track rating from the Migdol Stronghold when the Hippocons come in will hit them when they're walking in anyways. So it's very, very dangerous to walk into a Crenellation's Migdol Stronghold anyways for any unit. So there's the Aphrodite for Squash. Instant Curse gets 4 pigs. That's about right for the Migdol Stronghold units. And now Siege Works, or Siege Tower coming out, can be able to clean up these buildings, giving Magic more of a gold line here. And we do see that 4th Town Center coming in with Squash in the Heroic Age. So a little bit of an interesting decision here from Squash. Instead of going straight to the Mythic Age, he's opting for the 4th Town Center. He's going to sit in the Heroic Age. Poseidon Heroic Age as opposed to like a Zeus Heroic Age, much stronger with Aphrodite getting out those Nemean lions and having cavalry, so he can go heavy cavalry. The Poseidon Heroic Age actually it's not that much of a problem to not skip it as opposed to Zeus who wants to skip it. So completely fine here for Squash to grab that one. Now he's hit the Heroic Age. He's also thrown up a market already, going to be starting his trade route. What a beautiful trade route here. Magic with the Matrius market, just a little bit off from the edge of the map. Actually, both players with the Matrius markets, just a little bit, but just seems to be commonplace here. You don't want to put the market on the edge of the map because being too inefficient is a little bit too much, Anyways, now Siege Towers are pushing out here. We got the medium Hippocon coming over here, going to be hitting these chariot archers as well. And it's looking like Magic is still defending here quite nicely. The question is he going to be able to push out and grab this town center anytime soon? Is he going to have an Osiris fairly soon? He's not. He's getting fortified town centers. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank. So he does have the gold, so he will be able to advance fairly soon. And the Toxotes just coming in doing some damage. It's built every single time that Squash does this. You just have to build one mercenary cavalry out to sit on these Toxotes to tank. Because if the Toxotes hit those mercenary cavalry, and here we go, one mercenary cavalry, 2 mercenary cavalry, does not matter. Send that one in, and you can just see 228 HP here. Garrison into the Migdol, pop back out. You can see how little damage these Merc cavalry take here. And so many hits here from the Toxotes before they fall. So really nice defense. And we've even got the Pharaoh empowering this Migdol Stronghold Magic. Not firing with the Chariot Arch is a very big mistake for him, but he's finally decided to do so as the Siege Tower pops out, pushes Squash back. There's Artemis here for Squash, and he's going to be earthquaking this location. This is incredibly ballsy, to say the very least, here by Squash. Going Artemis here means that that gives Magic the option to go Horus. He does not need to bother with Osiris if he doesn't want to. He can go Horus here because he can deal with Chimera with Pharaoh basically, or with Avengers. But more importantly, without that extra economic boost with the Plenty Vault, Ra can kind of fight on even ground against the Poseidon here. If he gets that situation. So Squash is playing for the early victory here. Chimera moving in, going to be able to help out quite a bit at this stage. A lot of priests coming through for Magic already in order to try and deal with this Chimera. Has so much HP, does so much damage. And do we see any fortress? We do have a fortress. Heliopolis is queued up for Squash. Squash doesn't have fortified town centers. Do we see some upgrades coming in? We've got heavy archers, bowsaw for Squash. No fortified town centers just yet. Magic having to pump out those mercenary cavalry. He does have a gold mine here. He's got the trade route started. Balls already coming up for Magic as well, as it's looking like a siege tower gets picked off. Chimera doing his thing as well, and Squash is looking like he's able to push in here. I think if Squash moves in with some watchtowers or something as well, he could really secure this location and prevent this town center from staying alive. Mercenary cavalry not able to keep pumping out either. as it's looking like the gold and the food situation for Magic is looking very dire here. Magic with very little resources in the bank. 114 population here. Heliopolis doing so much damage. Another one coming in. Villagers getting pulled off that wood line. Going to come in and try and take down the Heliopolis. But with all of these Toxotes, is enough for Squash to fight back. And it's looking like the town center will be falling very, very soon as the villagers pop out, though. Going to be going after these Heliopolis, and we do see that Squash has to pull back, trying to keep these Heliopolis alive. They've got so much HP, though, and the villagers just take so long to take it down. I wouldn't mind seeing Squash getting engineers and throwing Petropolis down and abusing this cliff face here. I think maybe even without engineers, you could use this cliff face to hit this town center. Honestly, it's very, very close, though Magic's other town center can spam Mercenary to pick that one off, so you do have to wall it off or something like that. We do see the Heliopolis taking his time to pick off one of these siege works as well, revisiting the town center here as these units by Magic are desperately trying to cling onto it. But as this is happening, Squash's economy is just getting bigger and bigger. His trade route has started. He's just got so much economy coming in here. And the Spearmen for Magic coming out. If you know what I hate, and I hate unupgraded Spearmen here for Magic. No upgrades on these Spearmen. They die incredibly fast to these Toxotes if you just target them a little bit. They die so very, very fast. Very, very inefficient here. But the Heliopolis almost falling as the Spearmen, they do a lot of damage, to be fair, against those Heliopolis. They get a big bonus of 100% against the Spearmen. Now we got Polyphemus coming in, bashing away at these units, but the Mercenary Cavalry still holding fast here, and the town center able to be repaired here with the help of that priest empowering. So absolutely huge. And I love this from Squash, walling off this entire map here, making sure that Magic's got no options here as he's just trying to defend as best as he can, but it's just not happening. And Magic not training any more villagers just yet. Stop that completely. And more Mercenary Cavalry coming up, but we've got heavy Hippocon now. They're starting to look like a very, very big threat to Magic, and this town center looks like it is about to go down, even with the priest empowering it. But looks like the Polyphemus does fall, keeping this town center alive with 300 HP here. Now the Heliopolis back onto the Mercenary Cavalry, trying to tear this one down. It's going to be very, very close. Not able to do so. Just send one Hippocon around, hit that priest, and you will be able to take this town center down. Squash throwing all of his Hippocon onto here, but it's not going to be enough. It's Magic is still holding on to this town center for dear life, somehow with a sliver of HP. 300 HP remaining there, and Squash sending in another Heliopolis. Just get a Petropolis here. You can defend it very, very easily, but he's not able to do so. Well, he's not choosing to do so. And Squash is fine here just to keep pumping units into this location. You can see he's getting champion archers, he's getting coinage, and he's got 178 population right now, so he's completely fine for that. Heliopolis now hitting the fortified town center here, and the villagers stopping their repair rate. This is huge as he ran out of gold in that moment, and Magic in the end does tap out. GG, well played by Squash, getting that advantage from spotting the Migdol stronghold sneak coming up for Magic, and then just sitting on that advantage, pushing that top there with that earthquake timing. Absolutely devastating to Magic, and was able to take this game. Like I said earlier in the game, had Magic thrown up his Migdol stronghold in his base, made the units first, when the gold mine expired, put his villagers over onto this wood line, traded there, he would have been in a completely fine position here, being able to do a 2-town center, push out, grab this town center back, completely fine. I think he would have been able to do so, and then potentially played for a late game here against Squash, but did not do so, and in the end did fall. And Squash levels this series. It is a best of 7. So we've got so many more games coming for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting the follow button, and I will see you guys in the next game. Thank you so